So vigilante justice is skyrocketed in North America. Like, I'm talking particularly in Canada. The RCMP came out with a report saying that, and that it's likely just going to go higher faster. So I wonder why that could be. Let's dive in on this one. Years and years ago, when I was a correctional officer, we had an inmate assault a woman who worked in the administration department of our medical area. This woman is not a correctional officer. She does not know how to defend herself. As a matter of fact, she was like carrying a huge stack of files. So he kind of jumped on her from behind, did some stuff. I don't want to get into all of it. But you guys, man, like, it takes a minute or so for the response team to get somewhere in a prison. So they get there and they deal with it. Now, we knew goddamn well this guy was never going to be held accountable for his actions. Never. And it's not because absolutely no consequence would have pleased us, right? Like, it wasn't because we wanted this guy hung from the tallest tree kind of thing. We knew even a small amount of accountability was never going to be laid on this guy. So, aside from our correctional officers being maybe a little bit more excessive with their force than they needed to be, we decided to let her husband come into the prison. Because maybe he wanted to say or do something to this guy. Right? I'm not going to tell you if he did or not. Okay? But that's what we did. Because at some point, you get to this belief, I have to take care of my own because nobody else is going to do this. Right? Nobody else is going to do this ever at all. So what do you expect? What do you expect? As soon as offender rights became more important than victims' rights, and as soon as more resources were pushed toward helping an offender rehabilitate, and less resources were pushed toward helping a victim heal, that's what happens, right? Like, I mean, this is not fucking rocket science. Again, you guys. And some things in life are black and white. Some things are wrong to do, no matter how little or much you do it, okay? So, if a man, let's say, okay, sees that his wife and kids, or, whatever, thing is going on in his community, and that he was trusting the government and the law enforcement and the criminal justice system to deal with that and manage that and protect all of them, and when you come to the realization that that's not happening and it never will again, you now have to protect yourself. You now have to protect your own family. And you now have to protect your own kids and your own property, okay? Which is why people in America refuse to give up their guns with any more legislation. And I don't blame them, you guys. I don't fucking blame them. Because what do they have left to do now? If their guns are gone and some sicko shows up, what happens now? They have nothing. Now it's over. So, obviously they have access to more weapons and less legislation than we have here in Canada. And secondly, even if you did defend yourself with any kind of a weapon, you are likely going to be the person who ends up in jail, not the person who attacked you, or whatever. So, yeah, I guess at some point you say, I need to figure this out for myself. Pretty much. Plus, and this is the kicker, when you see every single solitary fucking circumstance become a excuse for an offender to do bad things and break the law, now there's even less accountability. When we have judges saying that an immigrant who solicited a 15-year-old girl online for the girlfriend experience, we don't want to charge him with anything, because if we charge him with a crime, he's an immigrant and he's not going to now be able to sponsor his wife to come to this country if he has a criminal record. So we don't want to do that. We don't want to stop him from being able to bring his wife here, even though he wants to do God knows what with 15-year-old girls. Yeah, Exactly. And then the flip side happens. There's always the other side. There's always the right and the left. And that's why Chris and Tamara from the Freedom Convoy are facing 7 to 8 years in jail for organizing the peaceful Freedom Convoy where nothing happened, nobody was hurt, nobody was abused or assaulted, there was no violence. What was their crime? Their crime was that they were Canadian citizens and they didn't agree with what their liberal government was doing, and they fucking said so out loud. That's what their crime was. So, you liberal thinking people who voted this shit in again, goddamn do I ever hope your fucking karma comes back on you in 1,000 fucking ways. Because you know what? I know it's gonna. I just want it to be immediate. I want you to have some of that instant karma that we laugh at so much online. Okay? And flip side of that, if you voted liberal and this isn't what you thought you were voting for, if this isn't your deal, if this isn't your jam, if you think that this shit has gone way too far, then I suggest you fucking say that too. You don't have to blindly support people. That's the problem. And I mean, I said in another video that there's a diehard MAGA content creator who has even kind of flipped the switch a bit on Trump and said, okay, Trump, we want the Epstein files. This is not what we voted for. And he's a diehard, okay, who was at the insurrection, charged, pardoned by Trump. And he's still saying, no, Trump, you got to give us that list, okay? So to liberal thinking people in Canada, thank you for completely and totally destroying everything that everybody holds dear, and including our safety, for sure. And if you want that to stop, well, then I guess you better fucking do something about it. I guess you better start to align with more conservative ideas. This whole idea of Canada needs to be united is a great idea, but that always means that conservative thinking people have to bend to liberal thinking people and not the other way around. And I've said this a fucking 1,000 times too. So unless you're willing to meet in the middle, you can go fuck yourself really hard up the ass. And you get what you deserve. You will always get your comeuppance. And I hope it hits hard. I think I'm going to leave the hateful speech there for now, because I'm not happy, and I could really go on and on with this if I really wanted to be mean. So I'll stop. Ciao for now.